Welcome back, you beautiful people. I am your trail angel, or Trangel for short. Now there's a little bit of an argument going on out there on the trail, and that is, what is the difference between an enduro fork and a trail fork? Now, I've got Trail Blake and Enduro Blake, and we're going to put them through their paces just to make sure which one's which out there, so we don't get confused and have this argument over and over again. Now, to make sure they're up to date with the new forks, we've got Suspension Pioneer's RockShox with the Lyrik on the Enduro bike and the Pike on the trail bike. Now, let's get started with the first trek. Hi, I'm Trail Blake, and this is my RockShox Pike equipped on my Canyon Spectral CF. Yes, it's 150mm of travel up front. It can climb and descend anything. You don't need anything out. It's not all you need. Hi, I'm Enduro Blake, and this is my nuke-proof Mega with 170mm up front thanks to this RockShox Lyrik. You can put this thing in front of anything and it'll eat it up for breakfast, dinner, and lunch. Steep, rough, gnarly, gnarly, everything, this bike will smash it. Ooh, 170mm of travel. What are you gonna do when you get to the bottom and you have to climb that thing all the way back to the top? What are you gonna do with all that small travel when it gets rough and horrible and you're bombing down? You're gonna get some cool arms, especially with that. We'll see. We'll see. Right, before we get descending, we're gonna have to do some ascending. So I've got this nice techie climb where it gets to the top. It gets a little bit steep, but you're gonna have to navigate yourself through these rooty sections, up some steps on this loose terrain. Which one's up for the test first? Are you ready? I'm ready. I'm gonna send it. You can go first. I'm not ready. Oh, he's gonna struggle there, that's for sure. That was techie. Let's go. Oh, this bit's tough. What took you so long? And I'm not talking about the travel of your forks. Yeah, but that's a super techie climb, dude. What do you expect, man? What do you expect? Yeah, well, it's told you, it's not all about length of travel on your forks that gets you everywhere. We'll see when we get to the top and we start descending. Yeah, we will see. We will see. Now we've got to the top of the climb, now it's time to descend. And I'm gonna chuck them into the deep end. Some nice, tight, fiddly, rough terrain, just like this one, right next to us. But look at this. Because look how deep these little ruts are. Now this is gonna test out that front end of theirs to see which one is gonna cope the best. Good luck. Trail Blake did beat me on the climb, but to him with the climbing thing. I love tight, fiddly, rough trails just like this one in front of me. But I think he's gonna say the same thing. I think we might be a little bit equal on this thing, but we'll find out. I'm ready, Trangel. On your marks, get set, go. Right, I smashed Enduro Blake on the climb. It's inevitable. I got less travel. My bike's lighter. I will smash him up there. Now, techie descent, tight one. And I know this one's got some crazy little lumps and bumps, which I might be using quite a lot of my suspension, but it doesn't matter. I'm gonna give him a run for his money. I'm ready, my trail angel. Ready, steady, go. Wow, I felt fast. It was rough, but I felt fast. That's the main thing. It was cool. There was like some steps into those berms. It was rough. I'm looking forward to seeing what Enduro Blake has to say about that one. Ooh, that was rough. That was rough. I liked it. I don't think I was as fast as Enduro Blake on that section. There were some real rough bits where the bike kind of just dropped and dived into these bomb holes before into a turn. I survived though. What did you think? Yeah, I did feel fast, and having a little bit more suspension up front did help me a little bit, especially when it come to those big deep holes before those turns, which I thought you would struggle, but yeah, it was good. Yeah, plush. My front end was plush, but I felt like I needed a little bit more travel. But then I wasn't gonna go too fast, you know, into a section like that. I was just gonna ride at my own pace, and I think I did pretty well. Yeah, but I did smoke you. But you smoked me on the climb, I smoked you in the techie stuff. Let's see what Trangel has to offer for the next challenge. Welcome back. This is the challenge of jumps. Right behind me is a set of massive jumps, and at the end of it there's a little gas to flat where we can test the suspension out. Now we're going to see which one is the best for big jumps, short travel or long travel. Let's see what they have to say. Let's get ready for this jump challenge. Right, we both love to jump, but which one's better, short travel or long travel? I tend to love big jumps, but I'm not gonna rule out the little one. Yeah, but for me, I love to nibble down a trail with some small jumps, keeping the flow in, and occasionally chucking in a big jump there just to add a little bit more flavor. But when it gets a bit rough and fast and there's always big hits, I tend to get out of my comfort zone. Yeah, I tend to work a little bit harder on a small trail. Because I got 170 mil up front, I work a lot more. When it comes to nibbly trails, I even work even harder to keep my flow up. But I thrive when the trail opens up and it's a bit rough, big jumps. I kind of eat up the trail bike. Yeah, you hit the nail right on the head there, Enduro Blake. We both like to jump, but you like to hit some big stuff and go really fast, and me, it's a little bit that way. But we got some jumps here. Let's put them to the test. There's a big jump down there we can send to flat. I'm ready. Man, I love flat out fast jumps. You know, having a lot of travel in the front end and in the rear just fills me with confidence. You know, you can just gas stuff to flat. Put something in front of me, I'm gonna ride over it. A bit like a bulldozer. Whereas the short travel bike, trail bike, you're gonna have to be a little bit careful. Pick your line. Good luck! Drop it in! big jumps, right? I'm not gonna lie, this bike is confident. I am confident on the bike, but it's just not inspiringly confident when you've got like lots of travel. Like I've seen Enduro Blake just sending stuff to flat, not worrying about landing sideways. For me, I don't want to do that. I think that's good enough. And that to flat, I'm proud of that. You know? I'm proud of that. Right, this one is all about flow. And I'm in the forest of flow. Now we're gonna see which one is better on a fast bit of trail where flow is key. Ready? Drop in. Man, you gotta love flow. Now, the trail bike is a super light machine. It's nimble. It can get through a trail real fast. You can pick your line. You can navigate this machine through it. And also having small travel, you can pick your line really well and it's easy to keep your flow. Now, I wanna watch Enduro Blake come through this real tight section here and see how much flow he has and how fast he can go. Oh man, the kingdom of flow. Trail Angel wasn't wrong. There's a lot of flow here. And when I'm riding a flowy trail on a big bike like this, I feel like I'm muscling the bike a lot more, which makes me feel like I go a little bit faster because I'm putting a lot more effort into a long travel fork in the front being a 170. It dives a lot in some of these real tight turns, which it's inevitable. It's a big fork, whereas the trail bike, he looked like he was a jackrabbit through here. He's like, me, I'm like a tank coming through. Like a nice plush road with all this travel. I think it was equal, but I think I have more of a workout at the end of the trail. Oh man, what a day that was, don't you think? Amazing. Yeah. Had so much fun, a whole day of riding, testing out each fork, which one is the Enduro fork like mine, and which one's a trail fork. Exactly. High five, dude. Oh yes, high fives all around. Now hopefully this gives you a little bit more insight of what an Enduro fork is all about and what a trail fork is all about. With a trail fork, it starts at 120 and goes all the way up to 160. Now the lower the travel, the lighter the fork's going to be because there's less materials in that fork. And it's a nimble bike, it's a capable bike, but you can spend all day on this bike and go for some big adventures and not be lugging some heavyweight champ all around, just like the Enduro fork. Whereas the Enduro fork, it starts at 150 and goes all the way up to 180, which is a big travel fork. It's a heavy hitting fork, which is super cool, and it's a super capable bike. Whereas it's a little bit heavy and cumbersome when you want to be out on all day trail like this one right here. Now hopefully this is giving you a little bit of insight. Thanks to RockShox for giving us these forks. If you want to stick around and you haven't subscribed to this channel and you really want to and stick around, click the globe to subscribe because you're missing out on some rad stuff. Give us a thumbs up like if your Trail Angel follows you around. See ya!